When thinking about collectible Rolex, the Datejust model is not what usually comes to mind. Usually, we begin to wander off into the professional or sports line of watches. Watches like the Daytona and Submariner are the quintessential collectible Rolex watches, but there's a little hidden corner that only the well-versed watch enthusiasts like to mingle in, and that's the modern and vintage line of Datejust models. While the Datejust is not widely known for collectible status, some incredible gems in this iconic line of watches are indeed very sought after. Some newer modern variants have the potential to become future classics. As a Rolex lover for many years, I've investigated deep into the enthusiast community to search for some of these cool and unique models, and I've created this top 5 list for you to help you discover them easily without dedicating your life as I did. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting with one of my personal favorites, and a model that is currently still in production at the time of this writing, is the Palm Motif dial, specifically the green dial with fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelet. This is a model that I think will go down as a classic, as it breaks all the norms from Rolex and looks great and interesting doing it. This is also a model I featured in our Rolex 2024 predictions article, is soon to be discontinued as well. The dial on this watch with reference 126,200 is stunning in person. It's flashy and creative in a way that Rolex does not usually do. It goes against the grain of the Rolex incremental updates and conservatism. The dial on this watch is its main unique design with etched palm leaves overlaid on top of a gradient sunburst dial. The watch gives off a summery tropical vibe, but could be fun to wear during midwinter to add some much-needed color and life to a cold and dark part of the year. This dial is also offered in a gold variant with palm leaves, but I believe the green one will be the real future collectible. The Fluted Motif dial has a similar look to the Palm dial, but it's a touch less daring, leaning more towards classic Rolex. It's a little less unique, but it's not any less flashy. The dial is covered in what Rolex calls a fluted design. Much like the fluted bezel, this dial has many small laser-etched facets that reflect light and opposite to each other. This makes the dial very flashy in bright settings, but it's surprisingly subdued in darker settings indoors or at night. This dial is offered in a few different colors as well, with both the green and blue variants taking the spotlight for most collectors. We've touched on recent references, and now's the time to check out some old or new models. These are stylish-looking watches, but if you want to buy one, you will have to source it through the gray market. Probably one of the most recognizable Datejust references, the linen dial is very popular due to the intricate design of the dial, which somewhat mimics the weave of a summer linen shirt. The real special aspect of linen dial is its tendency to age over time. One of watch enthusiasts' favorite words of all time is patina. A watch can naturally change in color as a result of exposure to sunlight, oxygen, and humidity over many years. Not only does the patina look great, but it tells a story about the watch, which is also something collectors love. The pie pan dial is a weird one here, and probably my least favorite on the list. It still deserved a mention though due to its place in Rolex and Datejust history, and as a watch enthusiast myself, I understand we all have different tastes. This specific Datejust variant has a unique shape to the dial, with the edges of the dial sloped downwards resembling a pie pan. It's quite a simple design feature and lends it a very retro look with a bubble-like appearance. This strange but vintage dial also increases its legibility somewhat due to the magnified look of the dial. Last on our list, we have something totally out of the ordinary in the Datejust line of watches. This one here is not a simple dial design, but rather an entire watch redesign known as the Turnograph, aka the Thunderbird. This is a Datejust that is trying to lean itself into the sports watch segment by implementing a bidirectional rotating bezel graduated to 60 minutes. This bezel allows the wearer to measure elapsed time in the same way a dive watch does. It's a neat feature for divers and pilots. With this function comes along some cool design changes for this variant, most notably the marker engravings on the bezel, a first of its kind for any Datejust. There are also some really neat color changes as well, with the white dial and red seconds hand version jumping out as the most unique. The rest of the watch is essentially classic Datejust with the iconic Jubilee bracelet and the fluting on the bezel, as well as the date and bubble window at 6 o'clock. This model received its rather fiery Thunderbird nickname due to its use in the United States Air Force Demonstration Squadron. This is a very collectible Datejust model, but interestingly, it's still rather easy to course one of these for the time being. That about sums up our top 5 list of collective Datejust models. As you can see, there's plenty of option for all kinds of tastes, from classy and subdued to flashy and unique. These Datejust models give you something to think about other than the well-known professional line from Rolex. This list was created with information that I've gathered doing my own research and talking with other experts in the Rolex community. I hope it helps you narrow down your hunt for your Datejust. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to stay updated on our latest releases. Until next time, may your watches be as prestigious as the moments they accompany. Keep ticking with style, and we'll catch you in the next episode.